to Young Audience of Louisiana's Simply Art. I'm Seth Kelly, Young Audience of Louisiana teaching artist, and this is a lesson on how to create an Adobe Spark video. 1. You're going to need a smartphone. You're also, with parent permission, going to need to download the Adobe Spark app, as well as sign up using an email of your choice. You're also going to need this graphic organizer. If you do not have this graphic organizer or the ability to print it, you can easily just get a piece of paper and use a piece of paper. Now pause this video and get those supplies. Once you've gotten those supplies, unpause the video. Now that you have all of your supplies, we are going to learn about the 7 elements of art. The first element of art is line. Line is an element of art defined by a point moving in space. The next element of art is shape. Shape is an element of art that is two-dimensional, flat, and is limited to just length and width. Form is an element of art that is three-dimensional and encloses volume. It has length, width, and height. Think of a cube. Value is the lightness or darkness of tones and colors. Space is an element of art that can be either positive or negative. Positive space is an area occupied by an object or form, while negative space is the empty area that runs between, through, around, or even within objects. Color is an element of art made up of 3 properties: hue, value, and intensity. Hue is the color itself, such as green. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color, and intensity is the brightness or dullness of a color. The last element of art is texture. Texture is an element of art that refers to the way something feels or looks like it would feel. It can be smooth, rough, hard, soft, furry, fluffy, bumpy, and many others. Now that we have learned a little bit about the elements of art, we are now going to create our graphic organizer. As you see, I have my graphic organizer here. Again, if you do not have one, you can always use a piece of paper. First thing I'm going to do is start off with finding my topic. What is the topic of my story going to be? It can be about animals, space, fairy tales, sports, be about wherever you want it to be. For me, my topic is going to be about space. And I want to add probably a little bit of fairy tales in there as well. So you can have more than one topic if you would like. Next, I'm going to come up with my title. What is the title of my story going to be? For me, I want my title to be very similar to my topic. So the title of my story is going to be Stars. Now, what happened in my story? Well, in this case, I'm going to have a prince and princess. Now, what's going to happen to my prince and princess in my story? A prince and princess trying to be together, but they are caught. So that's going to be what happened in my story. Now, where did this happen? Location is going to be the castle, and of course, obviously, in space, since my topic is about space and fairy tales. Now, when did this happen? It can be in daytime, nighttime, it can be the summer, spring, winter. For me, I'm just going to put nighttime. Now, who is with you? Obviously, we have the prince and princess, but who else was there in the story? Well, we're going to have a fox, specifically an evil fox, and we're going to have 2 kings. The 2 kings are the prince's father and the princess's father. 2 different kings from 2 different kingdoms. Now we're going to start off with the beginning of my story. This is where I have to introduce my main characters. Now, obviously, we're going to start off with the prince and the princess. Many years ago, there was a prince and princess who fell in love. Now I've introduced my two main characters. What am I going to do next? Well, now I'm going to introduce conflict into my story by talking about their fathers. Their fathers, who were the kings, did not want them to be together. Now that is the introduction to my story. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with my 3 details. The first detail is the evil fox finds the prince and the princess and tells the kings where they are hiding. Now, my second detail. What is that going to be about? Well, if they're hiding, they're obviously hiding from the kings, and the kings are going to find them because the evil fox is going to tell the kings about it. So now I'm going to talk about how the prince and princess run away to try and be together. This is my second detail. So now we have the prince and the princess running away. They're trying to escape the kings, and they're trying to go ahead and find a safe place to be. That's where the third detail comes into effect. What is my third detail going to be? Well, they found a hidden window in a castle. This window was a passage to another universe. All right, so now we have another universe. See how I'm introducing space into it again and stars? So what are the prince and princess going to do? What's the ending of my story going to be? The prince and princess jump out the window into the stars to live happily ever after. And that's the end of my story. Now, the graphic organizer does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be the most neat thing. It doesn't have to have perfect handwriting. But what it will do is allow you to get all of your thoughts on paper so that when we do our movie, we'll be able to get all of our ideas in the movie, and so we won't get distracted by adding new stuff into it. So, let's go over what my graphic organizer has. I have my topic, space and fairy tales. I have the title, stars. I have what happened, a prince and princess trying to be together, but they are caught. I have where it happened, castle in the stars. When, nighttime. Who is with you, a fox and 2 kings. At the beginning, many years ago, there was a prince and princess who fell in love. Their fathers, who were the kings, did not want them to be together. I have my first main detail. The evil fox finds the prince and princess and tells the kings where they are hiding. Second detail, the prince and princess run away to try and be together. The third detail, they find a hidden window in a castle. This window was a passage to another universe. And the ending, the prince and princess jump out of the window into the stars to live happily ever after. Now we have our graphic organizer. I'm going to go ahead and start making my video. Now we're going to go ahead and get started creating our video. The first thing I want you to do is get your phone and go to the Adobe Spark app. Now you're going to sign into Adobe Spark. You can use Google, whatever email you would like to use. I've already signed in, so I'm going to click on the Adobe Spark app, and now I'm ready to go. At the very bottom, you'll see a plus sign. Click on the plus sign. Click Skip to Editor, and now you're ready to create your video. The first thing I'm going to do is click the plus sign in the middle. This allows me to choose content. I have video, text, photo, and icon. Today we're going to be focusing on learning text and photo. I'm going to focus on finding a free photo, or you can look up Adobe stock images. I'm going to find a free photo. I'm going to search for stars, since the title of my story is Stars. Now, obviously, there's a whole bunch of pictures here that I can choose from, and I want to choose this one because it looks kind of cool. I'm going to click Done. Now I'm going to add text. Obviously, the title of my story is Stars. And now I'm going to click this button here that makes the letters bigger. And I'm going to click Done. If you would like to, you can also drag the word to different locations, to the right, left, or in the middle. I'm just going to stick mine and leave it in the middle. Oops, there we go. Now that I'm finished with my title page, I'm going to click the plus sign at the bottom right-hand corner. Now I'm going to create a new slide. I'm going to click the plus sign, go to Photos, and now I'm going to search up something new. Since I have a prince and a princess, and I have stars, I'm going to look up space people. And now I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to find an image that I like the most. Now, again, you don't have to choose the first one that pops up, even if the first one's the best one. Choose the one that matches the story the best. Sometimes you may have to scroll down quite a bit. Ooh, I like this one. This one has like a little castle in the background. So I'm going to click Done. Now I'm going to add text. But, before I add text, let's talk about the layout. At the very top, I clicked Layout. You have 4 options to choose from. I personally like split screen, but here's caption, the title and the text, and split screen. I personally like split screen better, but if you prefer any one of these other 3 options, you can use it. I'm going to click Done. Now I'm going to choose a theme. The theme changes the font and the color of the background. So I'm going to choose Focus, and I'm going to make the color of my background yellow. And click Done. Now I'll click the plus sign. When I'm typing my text now, my letters are yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and start typing my story. My story is going to be what I wrote down earlier. So I'm going to begin with many years ago, there was a prince and princess who were in love. That's my first sentence. Their fathers, who were the kings, did not approve of their relationship. So that is my first sentence, or my first paragraph, first part of my movie. And again, I'm going to increase the text and make the text bigger so it makes it easier to read, and click Done. So now I've done my first slide. That leaves me the next thing I want to talk about is resizing everything. Now, if you would like to, you can go to the square. I personally don't like square, so I prefer widescreen. And I'm going to click Done. And now I'm going to increase the time that it takes to switch from one slide to the next. Does everyone see the time button at the very bottom of the slide? You can move it to 30 seconds or 1 second. In this case, I want to have people have enough time to read it, but don't want it to take too long. So I'm going to make it 11 seconds. That should be more than enough time to read the text. You can also see the middle button right here at the bottom, the microphone. You can also speak and use your voice to use in your video as well. You can click on it, you can hold it, and you can record your voice. If you don't like it, you can click on that button there and remove the narration, and it goes back to what it was at before. And now the last thing I'm going to show you is the music. You can choose from any number of music files that are available for free on the Adobe Spark app. If you'd like to add some of your own that you have from iTunes or other files that you've made yourself, you can. I'm just going to keep the one that's already here called Sunlit Valley, and click Done. Now I'm finished making the first part of my video. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and stop making the video right now, and I'm going to show you guys my fully completed video. As you can see, the title of my story is Stars. Now here's the first slide of my story. Many years ago, there was a princess and prince who fell in love. Their fathers, who were kings, did not approve of their relationship. Now, why did I choose that picture to the left? The reason why is because it shows value, one of our elements of art. Remember, value is the lightness or darkness of colors or tones. They show contrast. As you guys can see, the surroundings are dark and the people in the middle are dark, but the background is light. It shows value. It brings attention to the people in the middle, who are in this case the prince and the princess. The next slide I created was about the evil fox. Then one day an evil fox saw the prince and the princess outside the castle. It ran and told the two kings about the prince and the princess. Now, why did I choose this picture? Well, as you can see, the fox is in the background. This is a good example of using space. As you can see, the fox is in the background and all of the attention is on the fox. I'm also using the texture of the leaves to put even more attention on the fox. As you guys can see, the leaves are kind of blurry a little bit. That brings the fox even into more focus. It makes it even more important. Now, my last slide. The prince and the princess ran as fast as they could to get away and found a window to another world. They held each other's hands and jumped through the window into the stars, and now we can look up and see them in the sky. Now, as you guys can see, I used space again. The person, who is in this case probably just the prince who found it first, saw the window. And as you guys can see, the window is massive. Why is the window massive? It's because it's the most important part of the story. It's the way that the prince and princess can escape. So as you can see, I'm utilizing the space here to showcase the window. Now I'm going to show you the credits by Seth Kelly with the other people who created the video, using pictures that I chose and the music that I chose. But now that I've showed you this, I'm going to show you how to share the video with your teacher. So you're going to click share at the top right. And you can choose from all of these options. What you're going to do is send as an email. You can change the title of your story. I'm going to keep mine as stars. You can also add subtitles. I'm going to click done. And now you can share by email. So now that you know how to make an Adobe Spark video, go ahead and make as many as you like, have fun with it, and enjoy your time.